So hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat Sadiq, also known as the Black Yule Brenner. You bald? You growing a little bit of hair? No? Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Nevertheless, I am Demetra K. If I haven't already said that, the purpose of the Demetra K show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we are great people, but we can always strive to do better. Also like to say a big giant thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Not only are you viewers, but you are family, and sometimes we do share the link. If I do share the link and your profile looks like this, please show me this. And if you're not comfortable, you can go back to that. All I ask is that if I've never seen you on here before, please show me your face. I think I said that already. But nevertheless, in the comment section, let's make sure that we are respectful to one another. It's not that we disagree, it's how we disagree. Also on the platform, of course, y'all know we have to be very mindful of the things that we say on the platform and in the comment section, because, you know, the bots or somebody on YouTube, sometimes they see things and they're like, what's going on over there? So let's, watch our words as much as we can. With that, today we're going to be talking about Kamala's campaign being accused of not spending enough money with Black-owned firms and media outlets and things like that. Of course, I'll get a little bit more into that as we go. Let's see who came on here before I give it to Donovan. We have Don't Need No Man. Stop telling me I do. How you doing? CJ, what's going on with you? Miss Sweets, hope you're having a great day. Average Logical Thinker, how are you? Brother Reggie, what's good? Let's see who else is on here. Poor George, how are you? JJ, how you doing? Sister Shirley, Doretha, hope you're doing well. And Brother Troy. Quincy X, what's going on with you? Detrick, how you doing? Ooh, y'all already going in. And Pop, I also like to say this before I get started. Just a little, note or whatever it is. Let's put this up here. Of course, you all know that it is election season. If you're not registered to vote, you should go do that so that you can be heard. Whatever you want to vote for, whoever you want to vote for, that's your business. But nevertheless, you should at least register and, maybe get out there and choose something, somebody, whatever it is. As I say, me personally, I am voting against the Democratic Party for obvious reasons that we talk about a lot here. We'll probably get into a little bit more as we go today, but I'm going to take that down. In the meantime, Donovan, what is going on with you?
All right. Welcome, you guys. This is a live broadcast. We did not do the other broadcast because I had a VA appointment. So please forgive us for that. Also, forgive my voice. I have caught the flu. I did get my immunizations, not telling anybody to get them, but I have a compromised system, so I have to get it. But we have a scrolling banner at the bottom. And if you guys so would like to contribute to the show, you can please donate Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, Zelle. We take it all because it does take time and money and effort to make these great conversations and these great videos. And anything that you guys will contribute will help the program last longer and go farther. Don't forget to download that African Diaspora News Channel app. You can get it on Google Play, Apple Store. That way you can see additional videos of Demetra K, Brother Phil Scott, Vicki Dillard, and all the rest of the contributors of the African Diaspora News Channel, telling you what is going on all around the African diaspora. And there is some stuff kicking off in Africa as well as Lebanon, if you guys haven't been paying attention. These are things that the corporate media will not follow or tell you about. Have you guys ever noticed that whenever they talk about Africa in general, they never show you the major cities? It's always jungles and one white guy running around named Tarzan, could speak all the languages, and he's the answer to all the problems. So these are the type of things that you will go through and debunk by having the African Diaspora News Channel. Again, on Apple Play, Apple Store, Google Play. So go check that out.
All right, now, so let's get into it for time's sake. I think that's what I'm trying to say. I'll be trying to talk fast and my mouth moves faster than my brain sometimes. So y'all have to forgive me for that. All right, so I saw this article by Notice, NOTUS. It's a Washington publication, and they published an article basically saying that, let me go all the way. It's a long article too. Oh my God. It says Black operatives are furious over how Kamala Harris's campaign is spending money. Now it goes on to say minority-owned firms are frustrated with the campaign It's only but is relying on white-owned firms for spending, and they're worried that could ultimately hurt the campaign. What they're saying is voters of color, right? So basically, again, they're saying that Black-owned political firms, media outlets, and other, businesses that are Black that will delve into the campaign season, they're not getting their lion's share. Of course, you know that once Kamala Harris announced that she was going to be taking the top of the ticket instead of Joe Biden, there was all of this money being raised. You had Black women for Kamala, you had Black men, you had white dudes, you had cat ladies, you had everybody you could think of were on Zoom calls, and they're raising a whole host of money and, record-breaking amounts of money. But unfortunately, it's sad, and it's not nothing new to Kamala's campaign. It sounds like it's been in the works like that for decades, that Black owned political businesses and things like that, they don't get what the white businesses get. So it is said that the NAACP president, Derek Johnson, CBC, Marsha Fudge, and a couple of other Black politicians and, dignitaries, if you will, they're complaining about that. They're like, yo, Kamala Harris, who was, they're saying, these are their words, and I'm just reading the article, Asian and Black, that, Black-owned businesses should be getting as much money as the white-owned firms. In fact, it's saying, too, that a lot of white-owned firms, they're actually placing ads with Black radio stations, right? So they might make the ads, and they're placing it instead of a Black-owned outfit, if you will, doing the ads and placing them. The white-owned firms are doing it. Now, they also said that earlier on, especially when Kamala was still the VP and Biden was running, she expressed wanting to send more money to minority firms, firms of color, if you will. But it sounds like that's not what's going on. So a lot of them are obviously complaining, like, that's going to hurt potentially you with voters of color and Black voters, because it is said that Kamala is not doing as well as her predecessors have done with the Black vote. Of course, Obama, Clinton, and Biden, they have done fairly well compared to what she's doing with Black voters. Of course, Black voters are becoming more and more disenfranchised with the Democratic Party. So they're saying that she should spend more money with Black-owned firms, because who knows Black people better than Black people, right? The Black-owned firms would know how to reach out to them. Now, of course, we know that Kamala is not doing the spending herself. She has a lot of managers and things like that make decisions, but it sounds like they're not making decisions to choose Black-owned firms as much as they are choosing with white firms. Now, let's see here. So the notice said that they spoke with over a dozen of firms of all races, and it kind of sounds like, the Black firms, minority firms are still falling short with getting some of that windfall. Let's see, what else did it say? And they also say they feel like there's not enough people inside of Kamala's campaign that's advocating for Black firms. Of course, y'all know, I think it was like a year or so ago when the Biden was still running, they designated about $25 million to outreach to Black voters. They hired a Black social media director or something like that. And it says that in 2020, though, Biden's campaign spent about $70 million to reach out to Black voters. Okay. Now, they said that could be, they said that Kamala, I think, is actually spending less, or no, Biden spent more, if I'm not mistaken, with reaching out to Black voters. Okay. So all that said, Kamala, who is running as the first, potentially Black and Asian female president, to go to the White House or whatever the case is. And, there's a lot of people arguing that Kamala's Black. Listen, I don't care if she's green. I honestly don't care at this point. Kamala's Black. Oh, she's Black. Y'all tripping. She's Black. They even tried to drag Janet Jackson, and this, that, and the other. But it's like, okay, why is it that everybody keeps saying that Kamala's Black? And listen, I know this is not a problem specifically to her, because Barack Obama did the same thing with Black people. He basically said, beat it, right? I'm going to help everybody else but you. So we're not surprised that Kamala's doing it. But now, especially in this racially charged political climate, people saying she's Black, it's like she's talking Black, and sometimes she talking Black, you know what I'm saying? But she's not walking Black. Because if you are the first Black woman, to potentially go to the White House. Why aren't you advocating, standing 10 toes down, saying it with your chest? Give some of those Black businesses some of this money that we've raised. Why aren't you saying that? Why is this now an article? Why is the NAACP president frustrated? He's like, I need answers. That's what they were saying. The notice that they were told that the NAACP president was like, I need answers. Who do I speak to figure out why Black-owned firms aren't getting this money? And are they getting, it's like 40 days out, give or take from this point till the election. And we also know that the Black voter is the one that everybody, hey, hello, we need you to come show up to vote for us, but you're not even spending as much money with the Black firms, which I would imagine is not that many of them, right? And that's true for Black businesses in America. It's not as many Black businesses as there are, white or everybody else. And so they also say, like, a lot of those political businesses, if you will, they rely on that money even in the off political season to keep afloat. So I'd imagine a lot of those Black-owned political firms are struggling. And they said, too, that they got to go through like 20 questions, proverbially, to get the job. But everybody else is like, oh, okay, yeah, great. But of course, the Black one has to be vetted, 20 times over or whatever to get the job. But again, all these Black people run around there talking, Kamala's for us, Kamala's for us. Well, she said she gonna do a reparation study, or she's gonna, give all this money for housing and Black-owned businesses and HBCUs. But then you got Black businesses that are begging for money from her campaign. Again, Kamala's campaign raised a lot of money, unprecedented amount of money, but yet Black people are still saying, what about us? And y'all notice on my thumbnail, I said no. She said no. So why are we surprised that Kamala's campaign got Black people on the sidelines begging? She said what she said. No. Donovan?
I mean, you said a mouthful. I do not understand why people are surprised at all of this. A Black person who is actually Black, that knows the issues in the Black community and is shooting for the top executive position in the United States would know, hey, I've got to do this for my people. I've got to do, these are the people that are putting me in office look like me. But this woman has not yet done that. And I'm going to say big ups to you Black women out there, because you guys, even though you guys started on the wrong foot with all that DEI BS, all that women, all that feminism bull crap, you guys are realizing, be it a man, be it a woman, it does not matter when it's all about the power. You're going to install a woman that won't even answer questions. As a man, some of the arguments that men say is, well, women aren't strong as men. They don't do things as men, whatever. This woman is an embarrassment if she is a Black woman, because she's not standing 10 toes down. She's running from interviews. Strong Black woman, I don't see it. She can't speak without word salad. She can't speak the truth to power. She just refuses to do it. At the end of the day, when you look at Barack Obama, who's a different lineage than FBA, at least he didn't run from interviews and he spoke truth to power. So big ups to you ladies that are like saying, now, wait a minute now. Here we are backing you and supporting you and doing all this other stuff, but you're not speaking one thing when it comes to the Black community. Not one thing. And I'm glad people are waking up, but it's just the fact of what I'm more embarrassed of is I did not go to a HBCU. Most Black people do not go to HBCUs. The HBCUs are supposed to be the top of the primo in our community when it comes to education. If this woman is the best that comes out of Howard University, and oh wait, I think P. Diddy went to Howard University too. Anyway, I'm gonna get off of that. If this is the product that the HBCUs, and I'm not denigrating HBCUs, I'm not. I think they're great institutions. I've got a lot of friends that went. But if I was an HBCU grad, you cannot tell me you are that blind that you are just going to go ahead and support a woman that is an empty suit that stands on nothing. this is embarrassing to the HBCU. I wouldn't even want to associate myself with this person that said, oh, I'm an HBCU, because it seems to me all the HBCU people are clowns. Why do I say that? You got your Ricky Smiley, even though they're honorary sororities and fraternities, whatever, they're honorary. Steve Harvey. Look at all these sellouts that we can just count. This is what the HBCU thing stands for. You know, it's just amazing to me. But I'm glad you guys are waking up. And again, I'm not surprised. Like I said, what do I say? The difference between Demetra and I, and maybe the difference between myself and you guys, is a lot of people, they move and they act in the way the world is supposed to be. I talk and I act in the way the world actually is. And this election is trash. Look at where we're at, you guys. You've got two trash candidates, two of them. Two trash candidates. And I know you guys are intelligent. I'm fairly intelligent. Demetra's definitely intelligent. And these are the choices that we have as the American people. Two immoral people running for president of the United States. One can't even talk. The other just talks crazy as hell. And these are our choices. And you wonder if Black people are going to get anything. I'm not surprised. I live in a world where it's a racist country. Look at and I'm going to bring it up again. You guys should not be surprised why Kamala is not giving anything to Black people. Look what happened here in California to the reparations bill. That told you the Democratic mantra: give Black people nothing, period. So I'm gonna land it right there. What do you guys think?
You know, I got kind of sad because and Brother Arson, how you doing? Of course, Marcelus Williams in Missouri. It appears, I mean, we've got a little over 30 minutes, and it appears that they are going to execute him, who is considered to be an innocent man. And so, Brother Arson, I have been posting about it on my social media accounts, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And everybody, I would say, you know, the Innocence Project, and everybody really, I believe, fought like hell to save this man's life. I don't know that, you know, it's over 30 minutes to go. Maybe the governor, I think the attorney general, they've said no, we're good. We're good with, you know, killing an innocent man for something that he did not do. DNA evidence clears him. Testimony from witnesses clear him. But they're okay with killing an innocent man. So, you know, it's kind of, it makes me really sad. I hate these cases because here we are in 2024 where they have no problem killing an innocent man. Now, see, this is why it's important to vote on the state and local elections, because that governor has no problem. He will sleep at night knowing that he is going to kill an innocent man. The attorney general, they'll go sleep at night knowing that they're going to kill an innocent man. Now, that is of racism. That's what they used to do to our people, you know, in Jim Crow and, you know, slavery and, you know, but specifically Jim Crow. Oh, he looked like he did it. We'll kill him. You know, a dog would have more of a fight than a Black man here in America here in 2024. If I understand, they're going to do it again. I forget the state, to another Black man. So that's what we're dealing with here, you know. And unfortunately, we are so engulfed into the federal election. We don't think about the state and local elections as much. The state and local elections always have a very low turnout. There are some elections, depending on how big or small the town is. I don't mean to get sidetracked on what we're talking about, but no, depending on how big or small the town is, sometimes some candidates will win with like 600 votes. You know, because there's not a lot of people showing up to those elections. And so we have a racist governor, racist attorney general. Apparently the state Supreme Court there, they said, no, we're not going to overturn it or do anything about it. Although there are some on the United States Supreme Court said if it got to them that they would overturn it. It's important that we show up to those elections and get to know those people on the state and local election, because there's a lot of people that voted for that governor there in Missouri that's all right with him taking the life of an innocent human being, going against the evidence that has been presented. Even the prosecution is like, this is an innocent man. The prosecution is saying that, and the governor is all right with taking the life of Marcelus Williams. So will something happen in the next 30 minutes? I hope so. But apparently, as it seems now, they're not going to change their mind. So I'm glad that you reminded me of that, Arson. I don't always talk about a lot of some of the stuff on YouTube, but my other platforms, indeed, I have been ringing the alarm, going to their pages and everything else you can think of, along with a whole host of people trying to save this man's life. So we need to pay closer attention to the state and local elections.
Absolutely. I was at a political gathering, and there was a lady who's running for judge into the county. She's already a commissioner. A commissioner does pretty much everything what a judge does, been trained and stuff. And she's running to be a judge. Now she has to be elected. So that's a little bit different. And she was explaining the differences and, how things are going. But this is what we talk about when we talk about being involved in our local elections. I know you guys see me running around here acting all crazy and doing all this, but let me tell you, when you are politically active locally, because everything's by word of mouth, you got your neighbors, that people that know you and stuff, you go to city council and stuff, you become a power within yourself. You become a power. Demetra saw when I went to this little thing. I mean, people, the politicians were shaking in their boots, and they have to come at me real. You're not talking to I pay attention every 4 years to the national elections. It is very important that we understand who the judges are. It's very important that we show up for jury duty. We show up for jury duty. Would this man be on death row if he had gotten a trial of his peers? One thing you guys got to remember, when it comes to America, Black people do not get a trial of our peers. When you got a bunch of white people sitting in the jury box and you're from Compton, California, or from the Chocolate City area, that is not a jury of your peers. But yet we let this stuff go on. We let little Ray and little Pookie, go through the system because they take a plea deal and all this other stuff. We have to get involved and stop running away from jury duty. Go to jury duty. You could be the difference between somebody going to jail and somebody going to death row.
Absolutely. So somebody, y'all keep us posted. I hate to hear anything other than they, change their minds, but it's disgusting to say the least. So anyway, hey Team Truth, how you doing? All right, so I'm gonna skip down to these comments so I could catch up. Corey, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Lena, what's going on with you? Says they are part of the problem. Chantel, how you doing? Says I just love to hear D speak and love. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you for that. Poor Georgia says Kamala is spending $5 million per week more than Trump is. Yeah, but a lot of those businesses, Black businesses, aren't getting that money. But again, you talking Black, but you're not walking Black. If I was at the helm of a business and I found out, because come on, this ain't no secret to Kamala that her people ain't getting the money that the other people getting, I would be like, listen, you need to cut them a check. They need to be getting as much business as we know that Black Americans, about 13, 14, 15% of the population, depending on what you believe. So we know they don't have that many businesses. At least let them get, let's hire them all, especially if they're good, right? Let's hire them all to do something. We got all these millions of dollars and they still begging. But again, we're not surprised because Kamala said no. When Black people ask for something specifically, she said, I'm not going to do nothing that just benefits Black people. No, she said it with all her might. And now they're trying to, still trying to shield her. Well, we don't know how much of this she knows. Come on. Does it seem like you can hide a lot from Kamala? Well, maybe, I don't know. But I'm sure she knows and she's heard, hey, Black people are complaining. They're not getting any money from this campaign. So why are we still having this conversation? But see, Derek Johnson, the president of NAACP, the Congressional Black Caucus, and everybody else, they so busy making sure everybody else get a piece of the pie. But even the Black people they need to outreach to other Black voters, they're not even thinking about them. So why should we show up for them? That is the question I think we need to answer. Why do we show up for them, the Democrats, and they're not showing up for the people they need? even people who can get the message out. We know that Ricky Rowland and all them, I don't know if they're getting any money, but we know that they are putting, spending some money, putting ads on those radio stations. So they'll spend money to disseminate that information. So what about the people that can do the polling? Let us get out there with Black America and see, our people. We could talk to them and see how they really feel, or what we need to do to correct, or we can bring that information back to you and say, hey, Kamala, they want to check. She's not doing that. She being her campaign, they're hiring mostly white. But again, that's not a secret. But sister girl, what's your issue?
Right. Well, you got to remember Maxine Waters and most Jim Clyburn and these boule Black folks, they take that money and they enrich their families. Remember, Maxine Waters paid her daughter $800,000 to distribute literature on her campaign and all this other stuff. This is how they do it. It's money laundering in a legal sense. Here in California, we have a lot of the cartels from Tijuana that's over there. And I'm going to say this because this is what I believe. It's not official, but this is what I believe. A lot of money laundering is going on in my city through these cartels. People are running for election that have no damn chance in hell, but they got all this financial backing. And this money is going to the restaurants and to the Hispanic this and the Hispanic that, whatever. And like I said, I don't care. But the fact of the matter is there's a lot of money laundering going on in politics. Maxine Waters enriches her family. Jim Clyburn, what the hell does his daughter know anything about being a political advisor? He just set her up and he runs money through that campaign. That way it isn't him, it's his daughter. You see what I'm saying? And this is how they grease their hands in their pockets, because if you set your family members up, that money eventually funnels back to you, doesn't it? This is how they do it. And Kamala, who's supposed to be playing the game, whatever, won't even do that. She'd rather hire white firms over Black firms. Sad.
Absolutely. Thunder. He says, what are the requirements to register to vote? Why are they giving illegal immigrants the tools and incentives they need to register to vote? He says, but we're wrong to say they're trying to replace us. Right. Well, in most places, you need an ID. You got to be a citizen. Some cases you can't be a felon, but a lot of cases you can. But you got to, seems like you got to jump through a whole some hoops of fire, do your time and probation and just different things, if you're a felon in order to vote. But I think at the basis of you have to be a resident and you have to have some sort of an identification, rather not just a license, but some sort of federal ID. Candy, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Negroes, what's going on with you? Says I signed a petition and sent the governor on email, and sad situation it is. I mean, those of us who, really try to save Marcelus Williams, big ups to us. I'm hoping again that that's not the case. They don't do that, but got about 20 minutes to see if that's going to take place. I hope not. I pray, and I did pray about the situation as well. I'm one of those people who's like, okay, well, let's see what we could do first and then pray. But the last thing I did was pray, like, Lord, don't let them do that to him, so. Amy, how you doing? Says for 2024, Howard University took the second spot in the HBCU rankings. Located in Washington, D.C., Howard has a rich history and offers a wide range of academic programs. Yeah, my daughter had a scholarship to Howard. She didn't go. She went somewhere else. But yeah, Howard is a damn good university. Like he said, it's Kamala's alma mater. Unfortunately, they don't treat it like it's a damn good university because, I think it's 2021, the university was suffering the dorms with the mold, leaking water, rats, roaches. It was just the most deplorable situation. It's like, wow, that's the VP's alma mater, and they sleeping outside because they could not sleep inside. Come on, So, yes, Arson, you're welcome. He says, thank you, Demetra. I was wondering if it was mentioned for the DNA to clear a person and still proceed is absolutely sickening. This is the Central Park 5 all over. Yeah, but, that's what racism looks like. That is true racism right there. Again, on the state and local level. And we run around trying to get Kamala in office, but you're not worrying about the people, that's in your local state offices. They have the most effect on your life and then Kamala will. She's only on the federal level, right? So, I don't know. I mean, just think about it.
And let's not forget, Kamala was also involved in a similar situation where the California Supreme Court had to step in and make her do a DNA test on a man that possibly was innocent. So, I mean, you can't be any more demon than that, and it's sad. It's sad.
Demario says, why can't Joe Biden issue a pardon? He can on a federal level, but he cannot on a state level because, again, if you think about it in the most simplest terms, the governors are the president of the state. Let's say in this case, Biden is the president of the United States on the federal things. But as weird as it sounds, he doesn't have a lot of jurisdiction over the states at all, which is why it's important to vote on the state and local elections. Because he, like they say too, like for example, with the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, oh, we got a George Floyd Justice and Policing Act passed. However, it passed through the House and he signed it or whatever. But that's only pertaining to Border Patrol, CIA, FBI, the federal police officers. That doesn't have anything to do with, Jimbo who's running around and terrorizing the neighborhood, right? The regular police officer. So.
Right. And so somebody said, why can't Kamala and Joe Biden do something right now? Well, Kamala, being the head of the Democratic Party right now, she could highlight a lot of light on it, and put a lot of shine on it to where it's just like here in California, Gavin Newsom, what he does affects her because it'll make her look bad or good, depending on what happens. Right. So right now in California, when he vetoed that reparations bill, that makes it look bad for her. So right now, depending on what if this governor is a Democrat or if he's even if he's a Republican, by shining the light on this issue, she could at least do that. And hopefully, because demonic people don't like lighting, like roaches, they scramble. They don't want the wrong thing to happen because now people are paying attention. She could do that. But again, here's a woman who claims to be Black, but refuses to do anything in regards to Black people, to empower Black people.
Yes, indeed. Stephen, how you doing? It says Miss Tub Collards giving them boule fools no respect. So you talk about your Rollins and them. Like I said, I'm hoping that he does get to interview her, but you would think by now, with it being, so close to the election season, that he would have gotten a chance to do it. I mean, Roland has a large audience, but I think the problem with Roland's audience is they already on board. And Roland, and pissed off the people who aren't on board by name calling and stuff. So it's like, well, how effective will Roland be, to interview her? I don't know. And maybe he'll ask her some stuff that'll enlighten the people who don't want to vote for her. But I don't know. I think it's strange that by now he hasn't gotten an interview. Tonight, how you doing? Says, hey, Demetra and Donovan, in regards to Mr. Williams in Missouri, why aren't all the Black men around the country in Missouri? Y'all call yourselves kings, but never on the front line, just saying. Well, I don't think that's fair to say. There's a lot of Black men that's raising awareness and talking about what's going on with him. But what can they do? What can they really do other than what they're doing? Now, I would suggest, again, on the state and local level, we all get out and vote, make informed decisions, learn about the judges, the sheriffs, your governors and your senators and your Congress people, assemblymen. Learn about them and see exactly what they're for, what their record is, and do they need to stay in office. But see, because we are, especially in our community, are so apathetic, we just think, oh, well, I just need to go vote for the president. Nah, sucker, you need to go vote for, them judges, because if your jury of your peers don't show up, or you need to, DAs could be elected too. If the jury of your peers don't show up, you need to make sure that you don't have a racist DA or judge. And we've seen that unfold a lot. Are these judges that are getting caught talking about, yeah, I'm racist, I don't like Black people, and selling little kids up the river in prison, 10-year-olds to prison because they getting a kickback for as many beds as they fill in these private institutions. They get money to keep these beds filled. So you need to know about those things, right? But to blame that on Black men, I don't think there's too many Black men in America that is all right with Marcelus Williams being murdered as an innocent man. So, this is a us problem. This is not just a Black man problem. But I love you, Tanaya. Ms. Sweet just said, speak on it, Demetra K. The Democrats aren't doing anything for us. Why vote for them? Yeah, but we are afraid to answer that question, right? We think, I'm going to shrivel up and die if I don't do it. Yeah, ain't nothing going to happen to you. Same thing ain't been nothing happening to you before. It ain't going to happen to you now. Black people need to get on board. You organize, practice group economics, and we need to do some saving ourselves. But God damn it, we want our money too. Reparations.
But if Trump gets back in there, he's embarrassing to us, and he's going to do this, and Trump, Orange man bad. Trump. You already experienced 4 years of Donald Trump, and you're still here. And you're still here. And what have I said on this show? When you're at the bottom of the economic scale in any country, it doesn't matter if a dictator comes in. It doesn't matter. You're at the bottom. So the only way for you to go is up. So maybe under a dictator, like in Cuba, 80% of the Cubans look like me. They're dark-skinned. Ask yourself, why do they love Fidel Castro so much in Cuba? Because he took the land and distributed it and educated them. That's why. They benefited from a strong man coming into the country. And I'm not saying that's what's going to happen to Donald Trump, but we got to stop this BS scaring thing. Oh, I'm scared. You ain't scared of the drug dealer or the drug house on the corner, but you're afraid of a man that you will never meet. Come on now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Howard, is not a bad university. It's just, unfortunately, they think like a lot of Black universities, they get the short end of the stick. And sometimes the administration, be pocketing some money they ain't got no business, pocketing. And unfortunately, the students get left with the short end of the stick. Let's see here. And hello to everybody that's come on here. Israelite, how you doing? Let's see, CJ Love, how you doing? Says, unfortunately, I feel like Kamala may win because a lot of people are blinded by their hate for Trump. She may. It's a possibility that she wins. But as I say, we'll find out in November, right, who's actually going to win. Queen Daya, how you doing? Says, shalom, Demetra and Donovan in chat. Yes, indeed. I see how you doing. Says, FBA crashing out over $800. Rip Young Dolph. Yeah. Know if y'all been following that? But one of the killers that killed Young Dolph, they're saying that Yo Gotti's brother, Big Juke, said he was going to pay them $100,000 to take out Young Dolph. And they did it. It was at a cookie store there in Memphis, Makita's Cookies, on camera and everything, shot and murdered the man. And then when time to collect, I guess he said, well, they thought they were going to split $40,000, but they ended up only getting $800. And, not too long ago, Yo Gotti's brother, Big Juke, was taken out of here. So they think that it was revenge. So it's just a mess. But as I got to thinking about it, I said, is it possible that Yo Gotti is the Suge and Puffy of the South? I don't know. It remains to be seen. They're taking hits out on people. I don't know. I'm just asking questions because I'm speaking above my pay grade. I'm old school hip hop. This new stuff, I ain't really too familiar with. And Damien says the system of white supremacy is in full effect. Yes, it is. Hey, Perry, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Dear self, how you doing? How are you? Salam, how are you doing? It says they pardoned murder killer Patty Hearst. Remember twice. Yeah, but Patty Hearst started off as a kidnapped victim, and they attribute the term Stockholm syndrome to her because she was the heiress of the Hearst fortune, if you will, kidnapped by the SLA. Is like a extremist group, if you will. And then they saw her robbing banks with them, and she sympathized with her captors. So yeah, she got off, but originally she was a kidnapped victim, so they say. Yeah.
Now you got to think about it. Well, was she Stockholm syndrome, or was she just trying to survive? Sometimes you got to do what you got to do to survive.
Yeah, it could be. So yeah, that's an interesting case, though. Miss S, how you doing? It says not only is that race, not only that racism is still here. Yeah, it ain't never left, right? Even Kamala said America is not racist, but that's who everybody trying to. We voting blue, no matter who. A woman who said America ain't racist, huh? Ain't you black, sister? You supposed to be black. And you run around here talking about anonymous. And I know Tim Scott and the rest of them other, donkeys have said that America's not racist either. But come on, you supposed to be the party of the people. And you run around here talking about America ain't racist. Are y'all not paying attention, or y'all just slow? I'm just asking. One who cares says my husband is fasting for brother Marcelus Williams. Godly. I mean, every time I think about it, it just makes my heart drop. Frankly, how you doing? Says a lot of folks don't know that they can report questionable bias with judges to the judges board of governing, and petition can be filed with intent to remove a judge from a case. It's a thing. But you know what? The crazy part is we're not seeing judges saying, I'm not going nowhere. I'll adjudicate it myself. No, I'm not leaving. Get next. Like with that Young Thug's case, they were trying so hard. They finally got the judge removed, but he was like, I'm not going to recuse myself. They finally recused him, but it was so much going on. They had to start over. That is the most expensive trial in the state history of history of Georgia, the most expensive trial. And they sat up there and let that man, the judge, waste their time when he should have been snatched off that bench a long time ago, right? So I hear what you're saying, but we're in silly season to where they know these judges are doing that to people. And you know why? A lot of times they don't take these judges off because then they got to go back and look at all of their cases and say, oh, well, you sent 1,000 people to jail. How many of these people actually deserve to go because you're a racist? So
what's really bad is that judge in that particular case was a black man, ex-military JAG officer. And, you know, you're a black man and they do it worse. I mean, there's so many bad things going on in Fulton County with Fannie Willis and all this other stuff. You know, yeah, we complain about the white man and stuff, but these black faces in high places, they are the worst.
Absolutely. And Patrick, thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you for that. Brother Arson, you said, thank you. I see it would be more about shedding light. Sad in my book, she missed a great chance to prove some allegiance to blacks by not speaking. I mean, I'm assuming she's aware of this case. I mean, of course, she could say something. She doesn't have any power. Biden doesn't have any power. If they did, I mean, I don't know how much they would intervene, you know, but I think I actually tweeted Trump and Kamala yesterday. I was like, yo, y'all need to tap in, say something. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
I was born a single mother. My mother raised me and my sister, and I was a prosecutor in my prosecuting life. And, you know, we could all say what Kamala says almost like verbatim. She says the same thing over and over. My mother saved up for a house for my sister and I and raised us. This is that. And then in my professional life, as you guys know, I was a prosecutor and blah, 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 blah. It's sad. So, yes, I agree. She does know. I'm very sure she's aware of this case. I'm very sure she is. Now, she's a former prosecutor. Ladies, this is what she runs on. I'm a former prosecutor. She should say something on this case. But guess what, though? What she doesn't tell you when she says I was a former prosecutor, you guys ever notice she never brings up her prosecutorial record and how she messed up all these cases and thousands of things and innocent people were railroaded and stuff? She never brings that up, or people aren't smart enough to go research it. Yes, she was a prosecutor, but she was a failed one.
Facts and Feeling says what Kamala meant was America was not racist to people like her Asians. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you, because like, how you come to the conclusion that America is not racist? Mike says, what America were they talking about? Exactly. Cooking with Miss D said, this country is getting on my last effing nerve. Yours and mine both. Negro says, America was born racist. Yes, yes, indeed. Queen Adia says, truth, they will play tug of war to stay on the bench to get paid. Everyone has their hand in the cookie jar. Yep. Celia, how you doing? Says, Jersey City is here. Yes, you are. Let's see. And Coach Terrence, how you doing? He says, so you're replying to Detrick. Okay. And Damien, you said facts on those raccooning politicians. Yep. Joanne says, on Marcelus, the Most High is in control and his blood is on the hands of the Most High's enemy. They will pay double because he hates innocent blood and evil loves innocent blood. Polar opposites. Yeah. It's very sickening. I tell you, it's really sickening. Brina says she gets on my nerves with that. Brother Reddy says in West Philadelphia, born and raised. Kamala Harris. Mission Vision, how you doing? Mr. X says, yeah, and they cared about their lawn. Yeah, that's what she says. Oh, my neighbors, you know, in the neighborhood I grew up, they really cared about their lawns. I was like, where the hell is this going?
In Canada. We got to remember that. In Canada. Her mother got that home in Canada.
Yeah, Prince Hakeem says, with the stroke of my pen. Yes, she says, with the stroke of my pen, she can basically make life hard for people. Like, you bragging about that? Why would you want to make people's life hard?
She did it for those single mothers here in California, those single parents here in California. She sure did.
Beanie Nance, how you doing? Says, but if she slept her way to the top, she don't know nothing. Well, she know how to.
And Judge Joe Brown mentioned that. She was very undisciplined in the courtroom. And again, I'm just speaking for myself as an adult. Sleeping your way to the top has a ceiling, and eventually you're going to have to show and prove. And if you've been sleeping your way to the top and you've never done the work, you're going to be exposed.
Negroes says too much is happening. They want to go to war. They want to kill Trump, Diddy, about to snitch on the entire industry. Yeah, speaking of that really quick. Yeah, we are on the verge of war. I don't care what nobody says. If you're not paying attention, then you don't know. Lebanon is in it. Yemen is in it. Iran is in it. Of course, the Palestinians have been in it. It is a full-fledged
Egypt
war.
has mobilized.
Yeah, and guess what? The United States says we are sending troops. We are sending troops to the Middle East. Now y'all know, I'm gonna say allegedly.
Again?
Yeah, but now y'all know what that draft was about. They reinstated the draft. Y'all remember that? They was talking about that last year. Now it's becoming evident. So not
Wait
only
a minute. I'm not going no draft. Yeah, that's for the men, man. Wait. Equality, ladies. Equality. You guys, this is what equality gets you. This is what it gets you, because men have always been subject to the draft. You only hear women hollering and screaming now.
Well, regardless of who they send, why should American people go to the war? American people ain't getting none of the money that's funding the war. Why should American bodies go and fight a war that Americans don't want? You know what I mean? But again, this is all prophesized that this was going to happen. One thing I would agree with Trump is he said it wasn't nobody warring when I was in office. Now all of a sudden, all the Middle East is up in arms. What is all this about? For lack of better words, we know, but we ain't gonna really go there. Extreme X, how you doing? Says, hey, D, can you interview the white guy who said he was disgusted with black people? You talking about Bad Brad? F Bad Brad. That's what I got to say. I love to interview him. He basically cussed out people for black people for wanting to vote for Trump. Y'all don't know nothing about Martin Luther King, some of y'all don't even know who John Lewis is, and Harriet Tubman wouldn't have had nothing to do with you. It's like, shut up. Your people was owning the people that Harriet Tubman was running away with. So what are you talking about? But yeah, he's a funny dude. Let's see here. Y'all can check that on the African Diaspora News Channel video that I did over there. He basically cussed out black people. Also, there we have the African Diaspora News Channel app. If y'all haven't already, please go over there and subscribe so y'all can see some videos that we're not allowed to put up on the main channel. I have a few videos that was taken down because it was a little too much for TV. So it's over there on the app. Mission Vision says, I heard the news earlier. They're now going to try and get the Latinos to go out and vote. Laugh out loud. They're desperate. Yeah, but if you know anything about how they vote, they're really conservative. They cut for the Democrats, but they're 50-50. They're not 90-10 like black Americans. They're 50-50. So that, they could try, but they got a lot of values that they adhere to that they just not, going to sign up with the Democrats over. So, and they know that. They still need us. Yes, Perry, World War III. We are looking at that, I believe. I'm not a war expert like Donovan, but, if you're following the news, it's kind of... Tara, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, Miss Sweet, you talking about equality. Listen, I ain't never asked to go to no war. I just want the benefits, I want to be able to get all the benefits that the veterans get. That's all I want. Damon says body bags in effect. Yeah, I mean, why are they sending people to go over there? What do Americans need to go over there and do? Americans ain't got nothing to do with this, right? Just saying. Coach Terrence, you say the Diddy situation is a distraction so black folks can stop asking about reparations. I mean, honestly, it's not really a whole lot of people talking about Diddy like that. I mean, the man has been in jail for a week. Will he get out? I don't know. Diddy will probably never get out. I mean, there's some people that are engrossed in the affairs of Diddy, but there's not a lot of people. We could walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. But as I said, and a lot of people said, Diddy wrote that check his ass couldn't cash. Even with all the billions in the bank, he could not cash the check that he wrote for himself. See, we all got to pay the piper. All of us got to pay. When you, what do they say? When you dance with the devil, you got to be careful. The devil ain't dancing with you for free. It's going to cost you something. So, while, it's a shame that Diddy may never get out of jail, it's also a shame of the things that he's been proven to do and some of the things that he's been accused of doing. Al B. Sure came out yesterday and was like, yeah, I've been telling the feds and everybody else for a long time that Diddy been doing some strange things, including to me. Even the attempt on his life a couple of years ago. He said, I've been trying to tell people, but now people are paying attention. So, Venting My Truth, it says Israel said they want Trump to settle the issues, even though they know Trump takes care of business. Yeah. But like you said, there was nobody fighting when he was in office. He was like, not on my watch, but here we are. The whole Middle East is just crazy.
Yeah, and it's funny because, okay, he went to meet with Kim Jong-un, right? This guy that's supposed to be this madman, whatever. Shouldn't you meet with people you have a disagreement with? Why is it that we have these men that, we can't talk to them. We won't just, we're just going to be, you prop these people up like, they're just the enemy, but you won't talk to them. When you have a problem with somebody in your neighborhood or in your family, do you just say, I'm just not going to talk to him and the problem's going to solve itself? No, you go and talk to him. And I'm not a Trump supporter, and I'm a hardcore military person. To me, that just made sense. Why not go talk to this person and see what is his problem? But the Democrats won't do that. A lot of the Republicans won't do that. These war hawks, they won't do that. They want to keep us in a perpetual war. Do you want to know why? War is big business. It is. We don't even have any more dumb bombs. Every time they shoot a rocket, it's at least $100,000. At least $100,000 of your tax dollars being shot in there. A missile, $1 million minimum. It's big money, and this money is going into the hands of these corporations and these big entities. And yet, you guys are homeless. We're homeless. We can't get our roads fixed. We can't get the basic necessities of what government is supposed to provide for its people. War is big business.
Yep. Amy, you say the Southern strategy tells it all why blacks are still with Democrats. Yeah. The Southern strategy, people, I've heard it explained a million other ways. But the way I understand it is the Democrats, they ruled the school in the South. They did. They ruled the South. They were the racist party, considered to be the more racist party. They're the ones that was with slavery. They wanted to keep slavery. They sabotage Black people every which way. But when LBJ and Kennedy got into office with the Great Society and the Civil Rights Acts and things like that, the Dixiecrats, that's what we'll call them, they were like, wait a minute, this is not the party I recognize. Well, I'm going to go over to the Republicans because they aren't talking about civil rights for Black people and, helping Black people. So we're going to go over there. So the Dixiecrats actually went to the Republican Party, but the Republican Party and the Democrat Party didn't switch. Just some of those key players that were the big time were more racist, put it that way. They went to the Republican Party, and that's what happened. So, but the Democratic Party has not changed in nature per se. I would say with Kennedy and, LBJ, who, was very racist, but the play was always like it was during Roosevelt administration. We need these Black voters because Black people could vote after slavery was just, disenfranchised. You did the poll taxes and all that other stuff, murder, right? If Black people tried to vote. So that's when the Civil Rights or the Voting Rights Act came in. But they knew that Black people could vote. So there's like, okay, they traditionally vote Republican. We need them to vote Democrat. And so that's how we got included with the New Deal and Great Society and, all this other stuff. So it's not that the party switched, it's just the ideology switch. And it was really with one or two administrations, if you think about it. And the Democratic Party has been operating that way from like LBJ and Kennedy, sort of, kind of ever since. And I probably confused y'all even more, but I'm sorry. Jerry, how you doing? Let's see. Brother Reggie says, I've tried to join the Navy when I was around 1920, but couldn't pass a physical. Praise God for flat feet. I wanted to join the Army, but my dad was like, are you crazy? Daughter of mine will be going to no Army. Got you, Donovan. Bogani, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, Brother Reggie, Diddy gone. I mean, he, a jury could say, hey, he's not guilty, but I don't know. And Greg, how you doing? Says, remember, he did vote or die. I'm just saying, yeah, he's a big time Democrat. That was his campaign, vote or die. And now his ass is in prison, ain't going to be able to vote. Remnant, how you doing? It says red dot. What? Says I'm going to say Kamala Harris don't deserve the Black FBA vote. She knows it. Scorched Earth, he says, Diddy, who cares? Yeah, I get it. I'm not saying like, well, I'm going to say this. Care about Diddy, but he's not important in the larger scheme of things. Diddy made his bed and he has to lie in it, and there's nothing the rest of us could do about it. So
the question we need to be asking is, where is the higher level people, the Steve Stouts and the Clive Davises? I mean, these people, I mean, if it's a RICO charge, these people should be in, should be somewhere in that indictment, be it investigation, future investigation, whatever. It just doesn't make sense how you get all these low level people. I mean, Murder Inc. You go after these low level labels that are really owned by the higher labels. And I'm very sure they know this stuff is going on.
Right. And Amy, no, I wasn't saying you weren't educated or you didn't know what you're talking about. I just, trying to explain it. So please don't mistake me in thinking that I was saying, yeah, you're uneducated. No. I wasn't saying that at all. Both parties are racist, Republican and a Democrat. That's what I do hate. I do hate that we try to dismiss one party as being not racist. Maybe one is, how about this? One party is overt and one is covert. The Democrats are covert in that, oh, we love Black people, but you could tell that if you love something by what you do for that person or that thing. If you neglect something, do you really love something if you neglect it? If you have a puppy and you don't feed it or take care of it, give it a bath, do you really care about that puppy? You're neglecting that puppy. Neglect is not love, but they'll say it out of their mouth. They'll talk Black, but they not walking Black. And the Democratic Party ain't even talking Black hardly no more. Name me an interview or anything that Kamala's done the last couple of times where she spearheaded the conversation about Black people without being asked. Only time Kamala was asked about Black people was the National Association of Black Journalists, and that heifer tucked tail and ran up out of there. She was mad that they asked her about it. But how you telling me, and I'm not saying about you, Amy, but how you telling me you love something and you neglect it? That doesn't make any sense. So we got to get out of that. Oh, what we know the Republicans is racist. But that's not like, if you don't know the Republican our party is racist, then you need to go to do some more research, right? We know that. The problem is Black voters do not pledge most of our allegiance to the Republican Party because what? We know that they are overtly racist, which means they are obviously racist, like what they're trying to do with Brother Marcelus Williams right as we speak. They are going to pull the switch or the drip or whatever it is on that innocent Black man. Now, that's overtly racist. Covertly racist is, well, we need Black people to show up. But no! Whatever happens that helps Black people, gonna help everybody. That's covertly racist. So we need to know, regardless of how they racist, they're racist. Period.
See, how many of you guys remember the old saying, it is best to let 10 guilty men go than to execute one innocent person? That's exactly why I'm pro-life. I can't speak for you guys, but I can speak for me, because I have seen in my lifetime the failure of the judicial system in the United States. That I'm not saying let a person go and make them innocent, but to put somebody to death and there's doubt, can't do it. And for those of you guys that are out there claiming to be Christians and all this other stuff, let's just use our basic logic. The Democratic Party does not espouse Christian values. Killing your children, I don't think that's a Christian value. The destruction of the nuclear family, I don't think that's a Christian value. LGBTQ, promoting LGBTQ trans lifestyles, I don't think that's a Christian value. I mean, that's me personally. I can't speak for anybody else. I'm not saying the Republicans are that much better, because like I said, you can love who you love. What you do in your bedroom is your business, because you guys don't want to know what I do in my bedroom. But the point is, what you do is what you do. And I look at these people that are like Christians, and they're super Christians and all this other stuff. And I say, wasn't TD Jakes at some of those diddler parties?
That's what the word on the street is.
You know what I mean? So, but yet you're a Christian and you have these Christian values, but yet this demonic stuff is going on. So it's crazy.
Yeah, JJ, he did do that, and for over 90 years we have been Democrats, but we used to be more so Republicans, because they were the party that was fighting to end slavery. So I'm not a history buff.
Was it the Republicans or the Democrats that started sharecropping and all that other stuff? Jim Crow, was that a Republican mantra, or was that a Democratic mantra? Jim Crow and sharecropping and all that other stuff.
Yeah, that's a Democratic mantra. They it was done in the South. Again, they ran the South. That the South was the set that they rep. Now it's the other way around per se. Yeah, Buck Carson, how you doing? He says Puff Daddy. But yeah, I saw in regards to Janet Jackson. Because I saw somebody trying to draw the correlation between Janet, Michael, and Kamala is actually more so with Trump, because Trump said it with his whole chest. I don't believe Michael is guilty. He says, I've left Michael around my children. He's an awesome man. He's a lovely man. And I do not think he's guilty. In fact, I know he's not guilty of what they accused him of. And he was like going on, the television shows and, everywhere he could, speaking up for Michael. He says he's a dear friend of mine. And I do not believe that what they're accusing him of. Of course, we know that Michael was later found not guilty. And a lot of those people came out and said, yeah, we were coerced or lying or whatever the case is. But Trump's still 10 toes down in defense of Michael. So to me, it's not a no-brainer why Janet was like, I didn't say that. By the way, if y'all missed that memo, we talked about it on Sunday, where Janet basically said she thought Kamala, she didn't know if she was black or not. Then it said that she apologized. Well, somebody who was not authorized from her team put out that apology, and that person is fired. She fired them and said, "I didn't authorize that. I didn't apologize." So Janet did not apologize, but it makes sense now. I don't know if she's a Trump supporter or not. That's her business, whatever she is. But if Trump defended her brother, see, Janet seems like she is very loyal. Obviously, we know she loves her brothers. But
yeah, Randy's her manager. Randy's been a long-time manager.
Yeah, so I can see why, and they say Randy's a Trump supporter. How true that is, I don't know. But I can see why Janet would be like, I'm not going to speak ill of this man. Because I read the interview, that the whole thing from The Guardian, and it was an Indian woman that did the interview. And she asked her, said, well, basically, wouldn't it be so exciting if, the first black an Asian woman go to the White House? And that's when Janet said what she said. So it's like, my thing is, as I'm reading it, I'm like, I think what they were trying to do is set Janet up for an endorsement to endorse Kamala. So she can go out, they can go out and say, oh, Janet endorsed Kamala. But she was like, that ain't what I heard.
and the person that put out that statement after being fired, you can tell he's trying to get a job with Kamala Harris and, get anywhere he can, because at the end of that statement, he said, good luck to Kamala or something like that. It was one of those crazy.
Yeah, he did. He said team Kamala or something, but it's like, yeah, she fired his behind. You don't be speaking for me. And she's more or less like the people who put out the statement for her or whatever. It's like, I'm mourning the death of my brother that died suddenly, Tito. And that interview admittedly was done weeks ago. So I'm like, well, why are they releasing that now and then blowing that part of the article up? Because they was basically talking about her fashion and over the years, because she was in London touring. So that's really what the interview was. And the lady slipped that in. And that is the most talked about part of the article, is her, taking a swipe at Kamala, which it wasn't. She wasn't even doing that. She didn't bring it up. The lady did. And I think it backfired, because as we see, a lot of people talking about, what you're talking about is Team Janet all day long. Okay, go fight with your mama, not me.
Yeah, you will not mess with Janet. That's one thing we will do. But Demetra, see, but what about Trump? He wanted those black people, those little Central Park 5 executed and stuff. Doesn't that mean anything? What's the context of that in regards to Trump wanting the Central Park 5 executed?
Well, Young 10 again, how you doing? I'm always saying it's a horrible thing that he wanted them executed, especially since they were innocent. But as they say too, Trump was a Democrat. When he said that, there's a lot of Democrats that were on board with that. Obviously, they were innocent. Thank God they were free. A lot of them did, significant amount of time for something they did not do. So I would say just right off the rip to advocate for the execution of teens is what they were, right? They're boys. I think is horrible. But like he said, I was going off of the information that was given. Now we know that Linda Feinstein, who was a Democratic prosecutor, she did her best to put those boys in a guilty light, even though There was a lot of evidence saying that they didn't do it. Eventually, the real killer came forward. He did a jailhouse confession saying that he did it. And from that point, they were freed. But, make sure you give smoke to all the Democrats that advocated for the death of those 5 innocent boys, because it wasn't just him. He was just the one with the most money and the biggest mouth that took out the ad. Of course, they heard a white woman was done the way she was done. And so, of course, that's just racism in general. But yeah, Trump shouldn't be on the meat hook by himself. Everybody else should be too.
Right. And again, he wasn't a politician then as well. So, and he explained his position. When you get false information, again, the judicial system putting out false information, not Republican, Democrats. What are you expecting? Now, lawfare against Trump, going against him, trying to, everybody should at least see that they've weaponized the Justice Department against this man. This is what the Democrats do. They play victim, and they're the people, they're the party of the people, but they can't show you any evidence where they've done anything for the people.
Greg, you crazy. Talking about bad boy, come out and play. Yeah, they said he's not doing well, though. They from what their reports are saying, that he has not eaten. He's afraid to eat. Of course, I can understand why. He's afraid somebody might take him out. He's used to eating, pate and caviar and, all that kind of stuff.
He's trying to get out on the like a medical excuse to get out and stuff. Like, hey, I can't eat. I can't do this, whatever.
Yeah. Carlton, how you doing? He says the Democrats was never talking black. They try. They don't do it as much, but they talk black at the fish fries, the churches, the strippers to the polls. No,
you saw Megan Thee Stallion. That was her first rally. Was Megan Thee Stallion, and she wanted to douse you not with the policy and what she's going to do, but ass shaking. Because black people, we love to be entertained. See, so we're nothing but children. We just love to be entertained.
Yeah. Well, not all of us, because a lot of black people was like, what the hell? But, Kamala stood 10 toes down on it. Have Megan Thee Stallion go out there and shake her booty, give that to them. They'll be all right. Simo, how you doing? Says, I agree. Who else came on here? Brand Lorenz, how you doing? Says, man, I'm so ready for this election to be over. You and me. Oh, I cannot wait. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I just like whoever, like I said, a part of me wants Kamala to go to the White House so that black people can finish waking up. So you can see all that hollering and ranting and raving you were doing. Team Kamala got you absolutely more of what you got the first time, and that was nothing.
And the funny thing is, remember when Kamala ran in 2019, there was this big old, like the Obama, she was up there in Oakland, and, all these people were there, and there's a big old rally and stuff. And then it just started petering off. And then she just dropped out because, she was an empty suit. And I'm seeing that again. I'm reading the tea leaves, and there's no momentum in her campaign. She's trying everything, and she is not getting any momentum. So again, I'm not saying she can't win. There's always a very, very slim chance she could. But I don't know anybody that's a swing voter or an independent that has actually sat with me and said, you know what, that thing that Kamala said really, swung me to vote for her. When I talk to people, they always say that. I haven't really heard anything that would make me vote for her. So, again, Demetra, they should have hired you, because you would have had her out there doing interviews, small market, large market, medium market interviews. It's just sad. I just don't see her winning. That's my opinion.
But I'm one of those, I'm a 50-50 person. She may not, right? Brother Reggie says, Janet standing 10 toes down. She ain't apologizing for nothing, and she didn't say anything wrong. And I love that. I'm hoping she don't, but I think she's seeing a lot of people saying, hey, we got you, Janet. Just keep doing you, First Fruits, how you doing? Says the Democrats going to learn a major lesson, especially in 2028, because they heard us on August 31st, 2024, still wanting for a platform channel to have what I got from the state assembly. It's powerful. So you're talking about what they did in California. Yeah. D.L. Hewley, he's He's such a vile human.
Well, you got to remember, he's desperate for the money. He doesn't appeal in the entertainment business like, ain't like he's going to be a major movie star. It isn't like he's a major comedian. He needs the money. It has to be the money, because I can't see any man putting himself out there like that. And, and he's wrong, but he's still going to do it. And then you're going to attack a queen of the community. Ridiculous.
Yeah, if I was Kamala, I'd be like, you're going a little bit too hard in the paint, okay? We don't need to piss off no more black people, okay? One thing people do is love Janet, so I need you to pull all that back, talking about how she looks and all that other stuff. He's just a disgusting human being. Just, ugh.
And what's really sad is people that don't know the philanthropy the Jackson family did. Not only here especially really big in California in the 70s. I remember you used to be able to go to baseball games and they're out there playing and basketball games and stuff. But the philanthropy that family did in general for a lot of black people. So when you don't know, you don't know.
Right. Yeah. And I'm saying people saying too, they didn't know Trump said that about Michael. Yeah, he did not bite his tongue when he says, I believe that he's innocent. So I can understand why, if that's, where Janet's like, I didn't apologize. I can understand that. I'm gonna be loyal to who loyal to me. Hey Alonzo, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. He says, I'm late, been busy. Hey Dean Donovan, I know how you feel. Busy. Common man, how you doing? Says Merrick. Koch, he says, Democrat wanted them executed also. Says, I thought they were guilty also because they said they were guilty. Their own parents thought the Central Park Five were guilty as well. Yeah, so there was a lot more that went into it. But of course, the way they frame it is, he was just woke up one morning and saw that they did something and, he wanted them to die. But you're right. A lot of people, a lot of black people also was calling for, them to be dealt with. But it was a sham job, if you will, by the Democratic prosecutor. She's the one that, did not want to hear a lot of evidence. Like, now we got our guys. Let's just go with that. So the crazy part is she sued, I think it was Netflix or somebody, and won. This was like not too long ago.
Yeah. When that documentary came out, whatever it was, she sued and won. But it wasn't the totality of the documentary. It was like something that was said in there that wasn't true.
Yeah, something like that. Salmon, how you doing? Says big up Mama D and Mr. Recovering, enough respect and manners. Yes, and where have you been? You haven't been here in a while, but we're glad that you were back. Simeon, how you doing? Says Trump didn't arrest them or make them confess. He owes no one an apology. Yeah, I think he should apologize for the ad. But there's, like I said, there's a lot of other people who need to answer for that. I'm thinking, Quicks, how you doing? And you say Marcelus Williams. He said he's been executed. That just makes me sick. That's a hard one,
This is why we have to get the right people that are going to do the right thing for our people. We are no better off now than when the Civil War ended, when it comes to overall wealth and power in this country. What good is having a black representative like the one I have, and he upholds white supremacy? Corey Jackson does not do anything for black people, but he does for migrants, Hispanics, Asians. He does for everybody else but us. And this is our problem. We have to really sit here, Demetra, and fellow guests, and show these black politicians, you ain't going to be a career politician under us. If they ain't doing the job, they need to be removed. Simple as that. You're a one term and you're out.
Yes, indeed. Yes, absolutely, Brother Reggie. So take a moment for Brother Marcelus. Yeah, that's hard. That's just, I hate it. I hate it with everything, because I just feel like that governor and whoever else had the power to save his life was like, it's done, because the lady
was the governor a Democrat or Republican?
Oh, the Republican. But the lady was white, and that's a lot of times that's all it takes, for black life to be taken, because the
white woman. Oh yeah. You're not getting any. Yeah, white woman.
Yeah. So it's sad. You know, I'm almost rendered speechless because I think a lot of people were just hoping that there would be some ounce of humanity. But as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, we are so busy fighting for civil rights when we don't even have human rights as Black people, because there was they could not have viewed Marcelus Williams as a human to just so blatantly say, well, we're not going to change our mind. We're not going to consider everybody, including the prosecution, saying don't do this. We're good with what we're going to do. But we know that as much as, because I gotta be honest with y'all, there's been a lot of cases and instances in my life to where I have questioned if God exists. I'm just being raw and honest with y'all. There's a lot of things, times I've said, surely there's not a God anywhere, the sky, on earth, or whatever, to sit and watch such horrible things happen, right? As I always say, and I think about this a lot. Like, I know our people on those plantations were screaming and hollering and praying and lamenting and wailing for God. God, Jesus, please don't take my mama. Please don't rape my wife. Please don't kill my husband. Please don't snatch my babies. Please, I know that they were. And somehow their prayers were never answered, right? And here we are still in 2024 as Black people. This is kind of why I abstained from church as well. I want to say this. I did not abstain from God. I've abstained from church because just like the Democratic Party, the church keeps Black people asleep. The church keeps us praying to an entity outside of ourself when the power and God is in us. We've been given the ability to do everything we need to do. Now, I know that especially Black Americans who are descendants of slavery, our ancestors were taken through horrible things on those plantations, and we are still living out some of those things now via trauma and things like that. But we have got to wake up. We've got to stop looking for a savior outside of ourselves, whether it's in the church, whether it's in Washington, wherever it is. We are who we have been waiting for. Again, they didn't go and put anybody else on those plantations but Black people, because we are strong people. They did not go kidnap and enslave weak people. They enslaved the strongest people on the planet, and we are still here. We are still surviving any and everything that has been thrown at us. We've survived famine. We've survived, financial horrors, brutalization from everywhere. We've survived it all. So when we as Black people wake up and realize that we are the God we are praying to, then things are going to change. But most definitely, get out there and vote on a state and local election, right? We can't keep complaining about these racist governors and judges and all these people. We don't go and go put something in the ballot box and say, get your ass up out of there. Like, that governor should not, as mad as people are about what they did to Marcelus Williams, rather, he should not still be in that governor's mansion come the next election cycle. See what I'm saying? Like, he should be done. And any and everybody else that thought it was okay to take the life of an innocent Black man should not be in office to make no more decisions for anybody. In fact, it should be deemed criminal. It should be considered straight out murder to kill an innocent person because you think that you are God. And that's what the governor has done. And everybody else that made that decision, they think they were God. But I said all that to say, God ain't sleep. Because there's things that remind me that there is a God. I don't go to church, but I know that there's a God, because God is not asleep. That's why one of my biggest messages is be careful what you do to people, because it comes back to you. They keep going back to Diddy, and we've been talking about this. Diddy had all the opportunity in the world to do right by people, and he mostly screwed over Black people, which is why I try not to go there. But why are y'all whining and crying about Diddy, who screwed over Black people, people's children, who wanted to go and make it big? They wanted to be, they had a talent, a gift, and he decided to do what those folks do to us. He decided to get in the shoes and in bed with the people who do the same thing to us. And he squandered his opportunity to be a good person. And no matter how much money you have, it is not going to save you from you. So I'm pretty mad right now. I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty mad. And we talk about certain things because it's kind of our duty to do that. But I would be remiss if I didn't tell us we got to save ourselves. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I bet you everything I got, they wouldn't have pulled a switch on an Asian. Probably more so, less likely, a Hispanic than they would a black man or anybody else. They would have thought twice, or they would say, you know what? Nah, that community don't play. So we'll commute it to life. And that's what they were asking for Marcelus, at least commute a sentence to life. But as I think about it, I think about how horrible it had to been for that man to be strapped to that table, knowing that he was innocent and they are going to take his very life. That is infuriating to me. I know I'm gonna have a hard time sleeping. Just think like it just puts chills up and down my body to just think about what he went through. But yeah, we crying about. Oh, I almost said the F word. I'm trying my best, but we crying about Diddy, Kamala, or even Trump, and they pulling the switch on innocent black people. And we sitting up here thinking we really got to say so with those people. They don't give a damn. They don't give a damn about none of us. Because we don't give a damn about us. So we need to change the way we see stuff. Otherwise, we're really done. Donovan?
Yeah, as we close this out, like I said, I don't know about you guys, but my mantra is I cannot execute a person if I have doubt. If there's doubt out there, I am going to consider that doubt. Even if in the digital age that we have, even if I saw a man mow down 12 people on video and they go through the cases, yes, he's guilty. However, to execute, I'm not sure. What motivated him to do this. Like I said, a lot of people don't care about all that stuff, but it does matter. Do you guys realize in the Black community that we suffer from PTSD, both forms of it, post-traumatic slave disorder and post-traumatic stress disorder, because we live in a violent type environment in a lot of cases for us. So for me, if there is evidence, if I was in power and there is evidence that possibly can exonerate a person that is going to be executed, I'm going to consider that thing. And I'm going to halt it off until I've exhausted all means. We've got all these tax dollars. I mean, what's the rush to kill this man? What's the rush? He's already locked up. What was the rush? But Kamala Harris did the exact same thing here in California, trying to kill an innocent man. Kamala Harris didn't want to open up the Mitrice Richardson case and do the investigation on that. That is still an unsolved case to this very day. What is it with these people that they expect the average person, you and I, to go and support them, and they don't support us? I want my elected servants to do everything they possibly can to get the guilty person. It's kind of like child support. What kind of laws are we doing where, oh, it's in the best interest of the child, even though you're not the father by DNA, you're going to continue to pay, and the innocent father is running around out there free. Demonic. It's just so frustrating. And I'm just going to say, may this man rest in peace. But this is just the cases you guys are hearing about. We have several cases here in California where Black men are on death row. Well, thank goodness I could say this about Gavin Newsom. He commuted all of those type of sentences because of the doubt. I'll give him that. So Demetra would know more about that, but I will give Gavin Newsom that. There is so much doubt in the legal system that he said, we ain't executing nobody. So I'll give him that. And to me, that is the measurement we should go by. I would rather have a person sit in jail for the rest of their life than execute an innocent person.
Yes, indeed, y'all. So on that very, horrible and just devastating news, we're going to get out of here. But I would say to those of us who really did try, it wasn't in vain. Better we tried than to sit back and do nothing at all. But they have to answer for that. They have to answer for taking an innocent life. I don't care if you're elected to do certain things. You're not elected to murder people. So they will have to answer for that. In the meantime, BJ, how you doing? Mexica, how you doing? We are gonna get out of here. Alonzo, yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll see if Walter wants to come on tomorrow. I know he's very busy. So they're reporting it now on CNN and the Guardian. Yeah, so hopefully tomorrow.
Just disgusting. Yeah, we live in a barbarian state. Mm-hmm. Barbarian.
Yep. But again, stop fighting for civil rights. We got to get human rights. So love and appreciate every last one of y'all. Jacob, how you doing? We'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.